Good morning, Bear Nation. I am the Bear of BearIndependent.com, wearing this super awesome Bug Out Bag Australia hat. Look at this. This came from way far away. Bug Out Bag Australia. How cool is that? If you're in Oz, you might check them out because they're good peeps. They hooked it up. So thank you. And I make nothing. This is not business. This is love. Thank you. Team building. Team building. This is going to make some of y'all, you're like, I don't know. It's so people-y out there. I don't want to be where all the peoples are. And it's just, I'm all mashugana. I'm so verklempt. Simmer down. There we go. Team building. Look, I have been saying forever and a day, you need a team. You need a tribe, you need a mag. Many, many other people have been saying forever and a day the same thing. If you're into prepper fiction, you ever read the Going Home series by A. American? Guess what? There's a whole bunch of interlocking teams in those stories, right? What about Franklin Horton, Locker 9? Groups of people, spider points, teams. You need people. Loners very rarely succeed on any grand scale. Doesn't mean it can't be done. For every rule, there is an exception. But I want to perpetuate normalcy. I want to live a life worth living post-SHTF. And a huge part of that, not just from a preparedness standpoint, bro, are the people that I love, that I choose to engage in life with now. And I want to keep doing that. I want to perpetuate that. So a big part of that is team building and finding people for the team. And I've gotten this question a whole bunch of times, and I'm going to try and put this as succinctly as possible on this whiteboard for the Prepper Classroom. So if you're new here, welcome. We have an entire playlist, 20 plus episodes thus far of the Prepper Classroom. Please go check those out. Starting at the beginning with what is prepping and moving on to why do we prep and then moving on to how do we prep. And this whole thing is designed to be shareable for you. So if you're new here, click subscribe, like, comment, share, do all that stuff because that helps us in the algorithm, which hates us because yay, YouTube. Okay, here's the deal. First things first, you got to go to where the preppers are. If you're looking for preppers, you got to go to where the preppers are. It's like fishing in a dry hole, man. If there's no fish there, guess what? You're not going to catch anything. If you're going to go deer hunting, but there's no deer there, you're not going to shoot a deer. So if you're looking for preppers and there's no preppers there, probably 0.0% chance you're going to find any. Now, where are the preppers? After a while of being in this game, of living this way, you start to just get a feel for people. You can look at somebody and see the way they carry themselves and the way that they interact with their wife or their husband and how their kids behave. And you just kind of, there's this vibe where you're like, yep, I bet you that guy's got some food put away somewhere or whatever, okay? But until you get to that point, where are preppers? You may meet some at church. And we're going to get to the breaking of the ice here in a minute. Depending on your church, man, if you're LDS or whatever y'all call yourselves now, and I don't mean that as a slight, I just literally don't remember what it is now. That church is big on preparedness. My church is big on preparedness. We're not LDS, but we are big on preparedness. Everybody there is a prepper, and everybody there is working towards self-reliance. What about conventions? I mean, if you go to SHOT Show, you're probably going to run into somebody. If you're going to go to some trauma medical show, you're probably going to run into some people. There are prepper conventions, purpose-built prepper cons. Look one up, go there. And you don't have to meet everybody and fall in love with everybody. Exclusivity is good here. You need to have some hard lines in the sand about what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and we'll get to that in a minute. But the point is, if you go to a prepper con and there's 20,000 people there and you're like, it's so people-y. Have faith that you'll meet the people you need to meet and focus on that. Not everybody. Training and field training exercises. If we're gonna go learn how to do the tactical pew pew things, right? We're gonna run our carbines in our carbine class or whatever. Okay, cool. Chances are somebody there is into preparedness. Good place to look. The militia. Assuming that it's a militia with a longer term view than 72 hours, chances are somebody there is into preparedness. People who keep the old ways. People who are cutting their wheat with a scythe or shucking their corn with that hand grindery corn thing that mounts on the workbench, or, blacksmithing, or, just look for a big garden. That person might be a prepper. People who are keeping the old ways, as we've discussed in previous videos. Those people are going to be more prepper minded. And a huge caveat here is, I know people that for all intents and purposes are preppers. They just don't know it. So you want to look out for that as well. I know a lot of people in the country who hunt and fish and trap for their game, a lot of it, who have a pantry that would easily feed them for 6 months, that just live the kind of relatively independent lifestyle that would put them in the category of prepper, at least for me. And they don't even, if they do know what the word prepper is, it's not something that they would call themselves. They're just living the old ways. They're just country. And to a certain extent, I think it was the Set Apart Homestead did a good video on this, A Country Boy Can Survive. Or Kenya. And there's definitely some false sense of hope, I think, with the concept of a country boy can survive, because you do need to actually do the things beyond just being a country boy, I think. I mean, food storage being key, agriculture being key, actually training with your weaponry to be able to employ it in an offensive/defensive role being key. But it's a great start. A lot of these country people, and a lot of people I know, would firmly fall into the category of prepping. They just don't call themselves preppers. Which gets, again, to agriculture. I mean, at the sale barn, that dude's selling Nubian goats. Hey, man, what do you do with those Nubians? Like, we milk them. Why? Well, cheese and soap and this and that, but really, we just like having them around. Why do you like having them around? They're emotional support goats? No, we just think it'd be a good idea to have a herd of goats. Cool, yeah, me too, because of XYZ. Now we're talking. And it's very rare, at least for me, it's very rare that the first time you meet somebody, you're like, that's it, let's do life together, boom, we're in. Here's the keys to my house, here's where all my food is, here's where I store all my weapons or stored them before the catastrophic boating accident. It's not, it's dating. Date each other, build context, do hard things together, fall in love, learn about each other. It's not going to happen overnight. And if it does, you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're cheapening something that could be really real and really good, a real blessing going forward. And then deploy. I just have the word deploy here because with Grindstone, our 501c3, when we deploy on missions, I mean, we've done 6 deployments in 2019. We've got 4 slated for 2020 that are already slated, plus whatever happens that we will react to, because it's kind of hard to schedule a disaster. So, doing disaster relief and disaster recovery, when we deploy with these people, we use these deployments as FTXs, field training exercises. That gives us an opportunity to serve our Creator, serve our fellow man, and then everything is training. Everything. If you're hardcore and I can live out of my bob for 72 hours, guess what? Our deployments are 72 hours. Come hang with us. Bring your bob. Let's see. Can you live out of your bob for 72 hours? it all becomes training. Commo training, security training, convoy training, food prep, sanitation, living out of your equipment, utilizing your equipment, setting up shelters, living in the elements for 72 hours, working on short sleep. Simply, how are you going to illuminate your AO? What about threat assessment? What about operating in this environment? How are we going to network and gather intel? The whole thing becomes training. Those people are very like-minded, very like-minded. And so, I mean, I heard from many people, one of which being the Patriot Plumber, said, you know, bro, one of the coolest things about being here on deployment is we can sit around and talk at the end of the day after we've served all day and be like, so how much rice do you have? How many beans do you have? Do you do it this way? Do you do it this way? And it's like, nobody feels like they're the odd man out. Everybody here is into preparedness. So deploy. And if you want to deploy with Grindstone, bearindependent.com, click the missions tab, and there's a email blast sign up there. Get on that email blast. We don't spam you. The only thing we will send you is going to be mission related. Hey, we are either raising funds for this mission or deploying on this mission, or we have the needs. These are our existing needs for this upcoming mission. But that's it. It's not like, here, buy our crap that we sell from blah, blah. It's none of that. It's strictly mission related. Okay, so once you've figured out where the preppers are and you go there, develop your elevator pitch. An elevator pitch in business is if you were, say, in the elevator with a billionaire angel investor and you had 60 seconds with them as the elevator is going up or going down to make your pitch. My name is TJ Morris of Bear Independent, and I sell these individual first aid kits. Everybody sells first aid kits. They're highly commoditized. What makes ours different is the fact that they're made in America, they're sewn by hand, they're guaranteed forever, and we use premium ingredients, and we're actually saving lives with them. No, we're not all super high speed on Instagram, but we are super high speed because they're deployed around the world with guys and girls who actually do the things. And so the reason, Bob Jones, angel investor, I would like $1 bajillion from you is so that we can grow this, so we can increase our marketing and our networking, so we can get out there into the ether and save even more lives. Boom, elevator pitch. Just did that off the top of my head. See, so you need your elevator pitch, so when you're at the sale barn talking to the guy in the goats and he's like, well, I don't know, you'd be like, look, man, why don't we hang out sometime? I'd love to get together and pick your brain on goats. And he's like, well, I guess let's get a cup of coffee. And this comes into having a dating process. I'd love to just get together and have a cup of coffee and talk about, you know, how these crop failures that we've seen in this area. I noticed that corn's not growing, but hay is. So how's that going to affect your goats? And if so, I mean, what's the economics on that? Buying corn versus buying hay, and do you even feed corn? Okay, so now you got this guy spinning. So develop your elevator pitch. And I have over here politics, crops, and economics, simply because those are kind of the three pillars of my preparedness concerns. Politics leading to civil unrest, crops and crop failures, food scarcity, and economics. An economic failure of the United States is an economic failure of the world, and that's a big deal. So these three categories, man, you can find pretty much anything to talk to anybody about with these and steer that conversation towards preparedness. Your dating process is, again, we're not trying to fall in love and make babies on the first date, okay? We're just trying to get an introduction to the second date. So usually for us, the first date looks like I will go meet with somebody face to face. We'll get lunch or we'll have a cup of coffee or something like that. An hour, maybe 90 minutes, feel each other out. With no expectation of date 2 or date 3. Okay? The next date after that will usually be myself and my wife for 90 minutes-ish. The next after that, we will meet with our families. Our kids, their kids, everybody, dogs, cats, geese, whatever they got, at a neutral location. Let's go to the park or let's go to the wherever. And we go and hang out and see how our families enmesh. Do they work? Do they not work? What's going on here? Okay, after that, we've now spent, 6 to 8 hours with each other over these 3 dates. And we're getting a better and better feel for each other. We can make an informed decision, both of us. Is this something that we want to move forward with? And not, hey, we want to have you in the group. It's like, hey, let's invite them to the group and see how this goes, and then take it from there. And so there is an element of OPSEC here. I don't want them to know where I live or how much food I have or blah, 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 blah. Yes, but you also need a little bit of vulnerability to put yourself out there so that people can meet you where you're at, so you can actually have these conversations. So having a dating process that it's not just like, yeah, we decided we want you on board. You need to back a semi up over here. You're gonna need 10 tons of food to get started and at least 10,000 rounds of ammo and 12 ARs each in order to be in our club. Like, let's start with, hey man, how much food do you have? Let's talk about why that would be a good idea. Because remember, people are our most important asset, which is why y'all are here. Because you understand that you need to be team building and finding these people. So develop a dating process that works for you. If you don't drink coffee, maybe you need to figure something else that you can do. But figure that out. We have ours. I would encourage you to have yours. Over here, let's look at this. Tribe, mag, and team. These are all pseudo interchangeable for y'all. For me, they're not, okay? So, team. Your team is the people who are like closest to you. For example, within our tribe, we have Bear Clan. That's the people who are nearest to me that make up a portion of our tribe. Clan being with a C, like the Scottish Highlands, not like the racist a-holes, okay? So Bear Clan. And these are people who are near to me. And we all share a similar faith, okay? So our team, we are an immediate reactionary force for each other and support each other locally, like within arm's reach of each other, right here in our neighborhood, in our town, in our city, right here. That's our team, okay? Our tribe is kind of like mid-distance. They're near, but they're not, they're not right there. Our clan is a part of our larger tribe, okay? And in our tribe, we all share the same faith as well. And then our MAG, our mutual assistance group. And I started building out the MAG here and looking for people for this MAG here when I first got here because I didn't yet have the tribe. And so the tribe actually functions as a MAG. And so this can get confusing. I mean, it confused me for a while, so it could certainly confuse you. The MAG being the mutual assistance group. Well, I still have the MAG, and I've actually stepped back a little bit from it and ceded some of that responsibility to others within the MAG so that it can continue to run so that I can focus more on this and more on this. And what the MAG is a mutual assistance group. These people are the farthest from me. So if you were to look at it on a map, it's like me, and then the team, and then the tribe, and then the MAG, okay? So concentric circles out from there. And the MAG is people up to 3 hours away. Mutual assistance, that if we need them for a day or for a week, we need help, they can come and they can assist us, or we can go and assist them, and then we all kind of go back to our hometown. And the way that works for us, this mutual assistance group, is we use this as an opportunity to train and fellowship. And this is not that video, but a great way to do a MAG meeting is everybody get together about 10 a.m. Because if you're up to 3 hours away, that means the earliest somebody's leaving is 7 a.m., which is doable. Get together at 10 a.m., do a block of instruction from 10 to 10:30 to 10:45, 30 to 45 minutes, break that down. Everybody can chat and pee, get some coffee, whatever. Do a block of instruction from 11 to 11:30, 11:45, break that down, chat, pee, whatever. Eat at noon. From noon to 1, eat. And then from 1 forward, say 1 till 3 or whatever. Just fellowship, because after people eat, they're not gonna go back into one big group. It's been my experience. Typically what happens is they all break into these smaller groups, and that's what you want. You want people, you want crosstalk. You want people to mix and mingle and interconnect and hang out with one another. Trying to get them back into one big group to now pay attention to another presentation has not worked well for me. So do 1 or 2 blocks of instruction in the morning from 10 till noon. Eat at noon. There should be food. There should be coffee. There should be drinks. And a good way to do this is potluck. Everybody brings something, okay? Obviously, get the food allergies, food preferences, get all that figured out. dietary restrictions, so forth, so on. Get all that figured out. Email chains work great for this. And then set it up. Instruction at 10, instruction at 11, eat at 12, fellowship at 1, have a hard out. By 3 o'clock, this has to be shut down. Okay, and then at 3 o'clock, people are going to start leaving. And foster that interconnectivity between all these different people. So we use our MAG as a training event and fellowship so that the people who are involved can go back to their respective teams or tribes, and then take the information that they learn here and distribute it here. Okay? I hope that makes sense, because actually figuring out the interrelation of these three in reality, in real life, took a year to kind of figure out how it's all going to work together. And it still ain't perfect. We're still playing with it, because there is no perfect. There's just the best we can do right now. So, faith. The reason I have faith here as a check mark is because for you, that may or may not be important. For me, it's extremely important. It's the most important, especially in a tribal setting. The reason for that is, and I see most groups tend to revolve around similarities in faith. The reason for that is we are predictable to one another, and we both agree that whatever this bar is, this is the bar, the ultimate arbiter for truth. These are the ideals, the morality and ethics that we all espouse, that we all agree to. This is the higher sense of order than what I feel like today, my interpretation of my opinion. No, we have an ultimate arbiter of truth. And so that's why I think groups, tribes, mags, teams all tend to revolve around a similar faith. Doesn't have to be precisely the same. For example, in the mag, we are all different denominations of what I would call conservative Christians. Whereas in the tribe, we are all the same denomination of conservative Christian. And the team is pretty much homogenous with the tribe of the same brand, the same denomination of conservative Christian. Whereas the mag is not. We've got, Lutherans, Methodists, Baptists, Torah observant, all kind of stuck in there, getting in where they can fit in. But this faith makes us predictable to one another. And we can refer back to, in our case, the Bible, and say, yeah, but doesn't it say right here, hey, we shouldn't do this or we should do this? Okay, cool. And that predictability, it's just like we have in the United States an established set of morals and ethics, which is biblically based, that when somebody transgresses that, steps outside of that, we know how to respond. We know this is good, this is not good. Okay, cool. Well, if we don't agree on where the lines are, it makes it very hard to do life together, because now we are coming into conflict with one another. So I tend to see lots of alignment in faith amongst groups. And this comment here, circles within circles, there are people who are in the tribe who are also in the mag. There's people who are in the team who are in the mag. And so there's some overlap. If you were to Venn diagram these circles, there is some overlap. But by and large, again, there's me in the middle, then team, then tribe, then mag, geographically speaking. Okay. You should have some ground rules for your team, whatever they may be. If you're trying to attract new people to preparedness, you don't want it to be back the semi of food up to our warehouse, and when you donate 24 tons of food to us, then you can join the team, because they probably don't have 0.24 tons of food yet. Okay? So that's what you're trying to accomplish here, is to help these people. So, and ultimately them help you, because it's a symbiotic relationship. It should be a symbiotic relationship. You don't want slackers. People should pull their weight, and by and large in organizations, 10% of the people do 90% of the work. But delegate, and don't be afraid to delegate. Give things away. And beware the good idea fairy. You know what we should have? We should have a squad automatic weapon. Copy that, Todd. You're in charge of the squad automatic weapon. Well, no. Your good idea, you're in charge of it. This is something I've seen in many small churches. We should have a welcoming committee. I love it, Sally. You're in charge of it. Well, no, I was just saying, no, Sally, you're in charge of it. And pretty soon people start policing their own good ideas, because every time somebody comes up with a good idea, you put them in charge of it, and then they will determine pretty quickly whether or not it was actually a good idea, and that stifles the good idea fairy, okay? Ground rules. By X date, have XYZ. For us, this is line gear for your people, line 1, 2, and 3, and a year's worth of food. Now, most people, when they are new to preparedness, don't have a year's worth of food, and they don't even know what the hell line gear is. But for us, that's what it is. So you want to set a benchmark. By a year in, you should have a year's worth of food, verifiable. You don't have to show us, you know, I was just going to say something not too politically correct. We'll just say, I don't necessarily need to see your panties. I just like to know what color they are, okay? I need to verify. All right. By X date, have XYZ, okay? Okay. And that's for you to figure out what that is, but it should be attainable, and it should be a relatively low benchmark to get started, and then you build people up from there. Great, you got 6 months worth of food, that's awesome. Next, we're gonna go to 9 months. They're like, 9? I just got to 6. Yeah, rejoice that you made it to 6, that's awesome, but constant forward progress. Let's get to 9, let's get to 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. Okay, you got 2 years worth of food put up, that's awesome. Maybe let's focus on some medical stuff. Maybe let's focus on some training and tactics. Okay, constant forward motion. You should never be bored when you're prepping. There's so much to do all the time. You should never be like, I don't know what to do. It's okay if you're tired. It's not okay if you're lazy, but you should never be bored. There's always something to do. Okay, our stuff versus my stuff. When people are in teams, and I just did a video with Steven from Prepping in Progress on this, so you can go to Prepping in Progress and check out their channel. Kim and Steve are awesome. So, and I know them in person. So, our stuff, your stuff, our stuff, my stuff. I believe there should be 2 piles. There's my stuff, this is mine, you don't get it. Or if you get it, it's because I give it to you. And then there's our stuff. Anything I take out of my pile and I put into the our stuff pile for the team, if you choose to have a centrally located cache of supplies or even a distributed cache of supplies that's our stuff, the moment I take it out of my pile and I put it in our pile, it's gone. I don't ever plan on seeing it again. In my mind, it's gone. Well, there goes 100 pounds of food, or there goes 1,000 rounds of ammo, or there goes a box of gauze, or whatever. It's gone. And I hope to never need it. Okay? So for me, the way this shook out for me is, again, positions of strength, which we teach and preach here, is I had at least a year's worth of food before I started setting food aside for others. I had lots of ammo before I started setting food aside for the tribe, the team, the mag, okay? So positions of strength. I have to be good in order for me to get everybody else good. And also just the financials of that. I need to alleviate that financial burden of responsibility on myself, some of that agita, the angst, the anxiety, the fear, right? Okay, are we good? We're good. All right. Now that I'm good, I can start prepping for these people, okay? And taking stuff out of my pile and putting it into the our pile, or buying stuff specifically for our pile. But in my mind, they are 2 separate piles. The our pile is all of ours, and if I leave, I have zero expectation of getting any of that back. My pile's my pile, our pile is our pile. If I leave, I'm defaulting to that stuff stays here. It's not mine, I gave it away to the group. I'm not in the group, ergo it's not mine anymore, okay? Do the things. Mag has a tendency to devolve into a hangout. Team has the tendency to devolve into hangout. But you want, it all does. Tribe has the tendency to devolve into hangout, okay? So you want to actually do the things. Do FTXs, do field training exercises. You know, we shoot weekly I shoot weekly. So that's twice a week that we shoot bi-weekly and I shoot weekly. So that's 6 times per month that I'm shooting. We meet every week. I see these people several times per week. This meets about every 90 days. And so there's training elements here and fellowship here, training elements and fellowship here, and training elements and fellowship here. So amongst all these different overlapping circles, I should constantly be hanging out with my people, building them up and encouraging them, and constantly be training to protect and provide for my people, to build myself up so that I can serve them. Okay? But you gotta actually do the things. The moment it just becomes hanging out and drinking coffee all the time and philosophical, theological, maybe conversations all the time, we're losing our edge. We need to get sharpened so that we can do the things. And then lastly, I've gotten this question a lot. How do I build the right mag? The answer to that really is there is no right mag. There's just the right now team, mag, tribe. Things change. People come, people go. New people are born, old people die. People move in, people move away. People get along, people disagree. The group, this, is constantly finding new members and is constantly having old members leave for whatever reason. Got a new job in the wherever, gotta move. Copy. Hey man, I disagree. Have a nice life. Copy. Hey, we're new to the area. Can we hang out? Welcome. Copy. So people come, people go. There is no right mag. There's the right now mag. And this gets back to FTXs and fellowshipping, that you can plug people in, you can train, and everybody's so cross-trained and so interconnected that, hey, Bob, I need you to go receive the Johnsons. They're brand new. Just bring them up to speed. Because now you're making captains of 10s, captains of 100s, right? And we're all so well squared away that we understand the mission here. We understand that we're trying to perpetuate normalcy and maintain a comfortable distance from authority in our lives to be independent. So the right team is a fleeting concept. It's an idea of perfection in your mind. You cannot achieve it. But you can achieve the right now team and train and fellowship like it's your job, because it is. And the more you do that with the team you have right now, the stronger it gets. And your vibe attracts your tribe. The better, stronger you get, the more people see that and go, I don't know what the hell it is they have, but I want some. How do we get some? Let's go talk to them. And then that makes this much easier. I will remind you, YouTube, the vast majority of you don't know this. This channel was originally called NTX Mag, North Texas Mutual Assistance Group, and it was started to find people in North Texas as part of a mutual assistance group. That's why our email is ntxmag@gmail. It's now 60-some thousand people who are here where we talk about the prepper stuff. This whole idea behind the channel was to find people to plug into a mag in North Texas. And now I get hundreds of emails per week that are like, Bear, I want to come do the things. Where do you live? Let's fall in love. And I'm like, pump the brakes, sweetheart. We have a process. So, but when you get so good here and here, now people see that and it resonates with them and they want some of what you have. And that is simply a product of embracing the right now team and fellowshipping and training like it's our job. And then this gets really good. Then people go, I want in on that. We're like, we're crazy preppers. And they're like, I don't care, I want in on that. They're like, okay, cool. So I hope this video was informative, maybe a modicum of entertainment as well. I hope that you got this stuff copied down into your prepper notebooks. And I hope that you share this with somebody who needs to see it. As always, I'm interested in your productive comments down below. Tell me what else you would like to see in the prepper classroom, and we may just do a video on it. And if you'd like to support the show, click the baby bear. He's up here somewhere. Thank you to our patrons. You are the economic engine of the Bear Nation, and I thank you deeply. We would not and could not do this show without you, so thank you very much. Come out of her, my people, lest you partake of her sins and plagues. Revelation 18, verse 4. Shalom, y'all.